Hello everybody and welcome back to Sticker Boutique Inc.'s YouTube channel. I'm Jennifer and I'm going to show you today a full tutorial from design to the machine on how to cut Cricut's party foil on your Silhouette machine. I have only tested it on the Cameo 3 and the Cameo 4 and the settings. When I saved the Cameo 4 setting and selected my 3, it completely changed the setting. So, but I'm going to give you the actual numbers as soon as we get done designing. So, you're looking at my screen right now, and you're seeing what was last saved, which was I was working on a decal for a boat. So, it's the longer version for a roll of vinyl. We're going to start off by changing our mat, okay? And what you do, you probably won't see that page setup. So you'll click the first button on your right navigation bar that says Open the Page Setup Panel. You will always go in here 9 times out of 10 and change these settings in some way, okay? And my machine, it's set to Auto Cameo. That could have been why it was messed up, because my machine was set to that instead of the Cameo 3. But anyhow, my machine's Auto Cameo 4. It is already on. My cutting mat, it says none, which is correct. I wasn't using a mat, so therefore my material was 12 inches, and I just put a height of 48. We're changing it to an actual cutting mat, so we're going to put it on. Mine's just set. I just automatically do auto, okay? And let me zoom in on the actual mat now. Okay, it still says my material is 12 by 48. I'm going to change it back to auto 12 by 12. In this case, I'm not making anything that's going to go past the 12 by 12 mat. If I was making something that was bigger, I would need to change it, okay? I'm not doing that, so this is going to be little itty bitty 0.6 sized flamingos, for example. Now that we've got that set up, now mine is snapping to grids. My snap to grid guides and snap to grid was on. I have the 4.4 edition, and I use business. So if I use something you're not seeing, it's probably because you don't have the edition that I have. And right now, business edition is like super low, and I recommend it because you get features that other ones don't have. But so I've got snap. There's a smart snapping is what it's called. So like, say if I draw a box and then I draw another one, these blue lines will tell me where the middle is, and then it'll go away once I'm in the actual center of both. See how it didn't move? So that's what that is. I've learned to kind of love and hate it. I don't like the showing of the snap line, so once I hit uncheck show snap lines, it unchecks the snap to shape. I need to bring in my design that I'm going to be working with, everybody, okay? So we're going to go to library. And when I bought my Cameo 4, they gave a $25 credit to the store, and they also gave you 100 designs. The 100 designs are under free with machine under my account in the library, and I just opened the folder, and there's a lot of good ones in here that you can use for confetti. That is what I'm going to be making, is confetti for your storyboard snow globe tumblers. Instead of buying confetti, you're going to be able to make your own, and we're going to go through that process together. So I have done the flamingo, so I'll insert that flamingo. It comes in big. That's fine. We can work with it like that, because I don't like to zoom in a lot and zoom out and stuff like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is right click on it and ungroup. And that ungrouped it down to probably the body, and then the pink stuff is together with the tail, or the bird, wing, and the feet are together. Okay, so I still need to continue to ungroup because I want it completely ungrouped, okay? So we're going to keep going down until ungroup is grayed out. You can also hold Shift Control G and it'll ungroup it. Shift Control G or Shift Command G on your Apple or Mac. I use a Mac, so it's Shift Control G or Shift Command G. I'm sorry. Okay, so I have my. You're not going to be able to cut out the eyes and the detail. All I need is the body of the flamingo to see that it actually is a flamingo, and the legs. So I'm going to take this feather or this wing, sorry, and I'm going to hit delete. I'm going to select it and delete it. I'm going to take the eyeball and delete it. I'm going to take that white piece of the beak, delete it. I'm going to take the gray piece, delete it. And there's my body. Okay. And then I'm actually going to offset the legs because the legs, when I cut it at such a small size, were really thin. So we're going to get those a little bit thicker. So we're going to go to the star with it, and it has like an outline of it on your right side again, guys. That is the offset panel. We're going to hit offset, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to, that's at 0.125. I'm going to see what that looks like. So if you want to look at it, this is where I zoom in, just to make sure that the lines are connected and they're not like real jagged and stuff like that, which they're fine. So I'm gonna go back to this, go back to where my bird is with the offset. I can take the legs. I no longer need them. I don't need this, but we can move it to the side for right now. I'm gonna select its body and the offset. I'm gonna go to the modify panel, which is the one right above this offset. And we're going to, I think it's subtract all. And that is not what I wanted. So let's go back. And then we're going to, I think my legs might need to be on the bottom. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes this depends on how you have it laid out, and I always have a problem with it. So that's what I wanted. I wanted it on the bottom. So if you can see, that it is, that's not what I wanted to do, guys. See, I'm messing up on y'all. I need to weld it. That's all I need to do. Weld. Done. I'm sitting here making it more complicated than I am. So now that the legs are widened, I'm going to hit the original legs and just delete them. Select them and delete them. So I'm ready for my confetti, except I need to change the size. So I'm going to put the lock on to keep it proportionate, how it come in. And we're actually going to change the height to 0.6. And it's itty bitty teensy weensy, right? So we're going to put it in this corner. We're going to put it in the corner. And that's all I have to do. I'm done with designing unless I want to fill it all up. But I want to test. I'm testing this material because this is not something that is in Silhouette's design program for a cut setting. So we're testing this out. So only one for right now until I find out which setting works for me. Okay, so we're going to go over to the send panel. And then it's going to show up, and you can still use your zoom. You can still use your move around. If you need to zoom in on this flamingo to see what exactly cuts, that's fine. I mean, I can zoom in very close, and I can show you that I only need the 1-inch square. I am always doing my cuts by line or by fill. I haven't really cut with layer, but I've used layer designing. I should say that. So we're not cutting on vinyl glossy. So what I did was there is a YouTube video. I will link it. I will put the actual link because I want to give the person credit because I'm not the first one that found it. But I had to work with the settings that she used and found the setting that worked for my machine. So I'm going to click it. Now, if you go to simple, you can use it this way. You can change your material. And I actually have a setting in here for it already called Party Full Cricut C4. We're going to test this because I thought My setting was originally for the Silhouette Cameo 3 a blade of 4, a force of 25, and a speed of 5. I don't think it saved it. So I'm going to change it to that setting. Because I think that cut deep, and it was a little too deep, so I started working with it, and I went down tremendously, that way it doesn't cut through my mat, and then if it didn't cut all the way through, I could just move up in force. So we're going to do the 4 blade, force of 25, speed of 5 to cut this out, okay? And then I got to get my mat, so let me get this loaded. I'm going to switch this to the iPad. I don't know how to run my Mac screen recording and also the iPad where it'll be like a continuous stream, so I'll have to edit and stuff like that. So if somebody knows how to do that, will you please let me know? I'm tech savvy, but not when it comes to all of this stuff. So okay, so this is what it looks like. Cricut party foil. This is pink. I literally bought every color they had available, and it was like $50 because it was on sale. So we're going to actually use this holographic silver, and I just used the standard grit mat for this. So we're just going to lay my material. I'm not even cutting it, guys. I'm leaving it as one big sheet. All I want to do is lay it down in the grid. Okay. And if you don't know, this is the old Silhouette mat. The grid is the sticky stuff. You want to lay your material in the sticky. You don't want to lay it on this slick stuff. You do not want to lay it there, okay? And I've done that. So it's laid down, and it doesn't matter if you put it at the arrow way or if you put it the other way. As long as your mat, the arrow, or the other end. As long as your material's on your mat, see, it's crooked. But that's okay, because I'm only using this top corner. As long as you have your material laid out properly and your mat laid properly, it'll cut correctly. So, what we're going to do is scoot this back, because it's out of view. Okay. And we're going to line my mat up against the ridge of the gray line at the left. And then we're actually going to move this right one out a little bit, because this is slick material. It's just going to slide around. So to prevent that from sliding, we move the right roller all the way out to where the last notch is, okay? And then I lock my machine back, okay? So to insert, you don't really necessarily have to give it a tug. I don't think. I just kind of hold mine, and then it feeds in. Okay, I don't necessarily give it a tug. Sometimes I do with other material, but this should be fine as long as I'm not too close to the edge, and I'm not. So I am fixing to click send, and now it's going to cut. It's going to select the blade at 4, the force at 25, and the speed at 5. And it's going to cut it. And you can see on my screen, it's cutting it, and it's done. So once my screen says ready, and my carriage goes back to the top corner, I'm going to hit the unload button, and we're going to look and see if that actually cut. And it did. So that's the correct setting for me. And then what I do is I fold my mat back and peel it off. Okay. See if I can get her in focus. Yep, there we go. See that little bitty, very intricate. Well, it's not really that intricate, but the legs cut out like great. The beak cut out perfect. There is not any sign of snags or anything like that with my autoblade cutting this. So, again, my setting was not saved, apparently. My kids could have got on the computer or something like that. So, okay, guys, when I select, we're going to do the same setting for the Cameo 3 that we did for the 4. Now, I'm going to go down here, and switch my machine to the Cameo 3, and it went back to the same setting as before. So we're going to drop this down to possibly 4, drop this down to 25, and drop my speed down to 5. Okay, I'm going to use, I'm using the same mat as before, so I need to move our flamingo over a little bit. Okay, so I moved it over. Now we're going to cut it on our Cameo 3. And same way, line this up. These are blue arrows on this one, so line this up on the Cameo 3 like that. And hit send on our send panel. Auto blade is working. It's going down to where it needs to go. And it's going to cut our flamingo. That should be it. Trying to see where my stuff's at. So, as you can see, well, maybe if I can get my stuff working. Okay. As you can see, the first one was the Cameo 4, the second one's the Cameo 3. Same way, we're going to bend our mat, and that is it. Now see, you can see a little indentation from the Cameo 3, so it might be needed. You might want to turn your force down a little bit if you have the Cameo 4 and it does that. I'm not too worried about it. It didn't cut all the way through, so I'm fine. But sorry, I keep hitting the thing. But I wanted to share that with you all. So now you can make confetti for your storyboard tumblers, and that would be the settings that you would need with Party Foil by Cricut.